So we got to go ahead and talk about people are literally, I kid you not, community noting the official account for Assassin's Creed for them sharing player numbers. We've lost the plot. Now, this was posted 5 days ago where they said, thank you, 1 million players and counting. There is no evidence presented to verify the claim. The number of players on Steam at a minimum would represent 10% of total players. Data from the Ubisoft and PlayStation stores is not provided to validate the claim. And besides that one, there was a whole bunch of other community notes that was pretty much saying, you're wrong. But then, as of a few days ago, when they announced that the game has reached 2 million players, guess what showed up? More community notes. Ubisoft is making these claims without providing factual data. Players does not equal sales. Touting this number when there are no sales metrics publicly available is misleading. Additionally, publicly made available player numbers from Steam give reason to doubt the claim. And of course, the notes after this one, just like the last one, was pretty much saying no note needed.
Oh, Wumba Wing.
I wonder if a fall from this height would be enough to kill me.
What is going on? When we're going as far as to community note an actual developer, trying to tell them that their game isn't performing well to the standard that they like, is mental. And people with the whole notion, oh, well, why don't they talk about the sales of the game? They've done this before. They literally did it with Valhalla. They did it with Mirage. Are people slow or just willfully ignorant? Valhalla made Ubisoft over $1 billion. They never said how many copies of that game sold, but with that number, people was able to kind of put 2 and 2 together to give an idea. And the guesstimate is around 15 million or in that ballpark. As for Mirage, it's been speculated that the game sold at least 5 million copies or around that ballpark as well. But again, nobody cried foul or asked for proof that that game sold well. Now, if this game was out here selling something like 20 million copies or 30 million copies, they would have been, put that stat out there. But because it's selling more than Odyssey and more than Origins, and people are using the player count number to indicate that because it's quicker than what Origins and Odyssey went on to do, and those games roughly sold over 10 million copies. Also, I don't like how people trying to say, oh, well, Warhorse Studios did it. Warhorse Studios is a way smaller team with a smaller budget than compared to what Ubisoft has. That's number one. And Assassin's Creed by itself can sell 2.2 million way quicker than what Warhorse could do with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And that's just a fact. Ubisoft is probably looking at this like, well, we had an idea of how well it would sell, but oh wait, it's outdoing what Origins and Odyssey did, then that's something to talk about. Now, granted, it's not outdoing what Valhalla did, or else we wouldn't get that tweet that everybody been asking for. But I just would want to know, if we're going to question them about player count and stuff like this, does that mean we ought to do the same thing when they actually post sales numbers? Or we completely lost that plot? If it's a problem for them to do this now, why wasn't it a problem when they did it with Valhalla? Y'all didn't say nothing back then. Y'all didn't say nothing about Mirage. But when Shadows does it, oh, it's all of a sudden a problem. At this point, y'all just picking and choosing of what to be mad at. And to the people using the Steam charts metric, for both sides, it don't matter if you're saying using that to prove that, oh, it's selling well, or to try to disprove it and say that, oh, it's flopping. Y'all both need to stop. Relax. Simply because for people who don't know, most people would rather play Ubisoft games on console than PC. And I'm talking about people who own PC and PlayStation. Mostly because of what I've heard about people having to deal with Ubisoft, Ubisoft's own launcher, Ubisoft Plus, Uplay. They don't want to deal with all that. And besides, the PC ports for their games aren't that well optimized as they are on console. And my only question to people who try to do this sort of thing, if we're not going to believe what a company says about their game selling well, then who else are we supposed to believe? And based on word of mouth, it seems like this selling is probably about to guesstimate in the ballpark of, like, let's say 12 to 13 million. And people like to bring up the budget for this game being $400 million. Do you know what the copies of that game sold would be? It would be at least 5.7 million copies sold, which is around the same that Assassin's Creed Mirage sold. If you really think that Shadows would only sell 5.7 million, you're bugging. Considering the last 3 entries in these RPG games. Valhalla making over $1 billion, which is guesstimated to be between 13 and 15 million. And Odyssey and Origins, of course, selling 10 million. The estimated revenue for both of those games was a whopping $600 million, and combined, that would add up to roughly $1.2 billion. So let's say on the low end, it is selling 12 million copies. To do the math, you would probably end up getting a total of, in gross revenue, that is double than what the freaking budget is for this game. But hey, I forgot, some of y'all wasn't that good at math. Like at some point, a light bulb ought to turn on in y'all's head. Wait, if it has a faster player count compared to Origins and Odyssey, games that sold very well, 10 million copies, then in your head you ought to think, well, this game is outdoing both. But with that being said, y'all let me know what you think about all this mess in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.